our next guest today on Community Focus on Washington County is the new Managing Director of Central Kentucky Community Theater.
Yes.
I'm glad I got that right. Well, welcome, Mark. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
So, being the new director, you come from Florida, is that correct?
I was living in Florida for about a year and a half, yes. I've spent the last basically 5 years kind of bouncing around the country. I spent 2.5 years in Los Angeles, and I spent the previous 4 years to that in North Carolina. So.
And you are an actor.
Yes.
And are you going to act in some of the shows here?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if time allows for that. When I came here to take this position, they're looking for an administrative person to really run the operations of the theater. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. So I've tried to do that in the past with a previous managing director's job, and it's tough to be involved in both. So for right now, I think I'm going to focus on my new position and see if I can get that up and running and smooth, and then maybe I'll look to get on stage. There's always a draw to get on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once an actor, always an actor.
This is true. It never leaves.
And so you've had a lot of experience with the stage, I understand, for many years, and in numerous capacities.
Yes, I've been involved as an actor basically for, well, almost a little over 40 years right now. I got started as a senior in high school, which is a long story I won't go into, but it all started on a $5 bet. And I had no interest in theater at the time, but once I actually did it and got into it, I just fell in love with it, and have been involved with it all my life as a community theater actor and volunteer. And then in 1999, I switched over my career. I was working in the financial industry. I got an opportunity to switch my career over to the theater industry in my first managing director's job. And from there, I took some time to pursue a professional acting career, and I've been doing that also. So I've worked both on a community theater level and professionally as an actor.
Wow. So you have had an interesting career in that area. And so have you performed on lots of stages in your...
I've performed on stages from my native Minnesota to North Carolina to Rhode Island to Indiana, out to Los Angeles for 2.5 years, and in Florida. So I've gotten around the country to perform in quite a few places, and I did spend the 2.5 years in Los Angeles also pursuing a professional film career. So I was blessed enough to be able to get into a lot of wonderful projects out there, do some TV work, some film work, some commercial work. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. It's been a lot of fun.
That sounds like it. And so you have directed, you said, and
yes.
Before, and now will you be doing directing too, or will you be doing primarily managing? Well,
again, primarily managing, at least to start with. I know the previous director, Will Davis here, did some directing, I think, and I've done a lot of directing. I've directed over 40 full stage productions. I worked for 4 years in Rockingham, North Carolina as the artistic director of the Richmond Community Theater. I started a brand new theater up in Minnesota years back, up in the lake country of northern Minnesota, called the Long Lake Theater, which is still running. So I do love directing also, and I think there may be an opportunity or two to do that here. Again, I'm not going to jump right into that till I get settled in a little bit and get comfortable.
Right. Well, because we have the children's director and the youth actors director.
Yeah, we have a couple of fabulous directors here in Jolene Davis with the Bluegrass Kids and Sue Lavinka with the youth actors, and then I know they've got some other community people who do some main stage directing here also. So there's not really a need for an artistic director here right now. They've asked me about it, and if the right opportunity comes along, I may get that urge to get in front of the stage and do some directing. But I'm not gonna rush into it. They don't really need me there right now.
Well, we have the community, the the ones that the adults are
The main stage
the main
productions.
stage productions that, and I guess we've had various directors for
Yes.
those, I know.
Yep.
And some of them that direct and act in them as well.
Yes.
So
That happens a lot in theater.
yeah, yeah. You've got to wear many hats.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And we've been very fortunate to have a lot of talented people who can wear lots of different hats.
Yes.
They can act, they can direct, they can work behind the scenes and
Build sets. Yep.
and yeah.
And that's what community theater is really all about. That's the beauty of community theater is you find in your community that there are really so many talented people that you may not have known about, who can sing, who can dance, who can act, who can build things for you. That's what community theater is all about, is that volunteerism and getting involved and supporting the theater in whatever capacity you're comfortable with. And community theater is sometimes seen as the little brother of professional theater or college theaters, and it's too bad, because there's a lot of talent in communities, a lot of talented actors who are very, very good, who just never chose to pursue that aspect of their life as a career, but the talent is there. So it's always fun in community theater to see the talent level that comes out and gets involved in productions. It's wonderful to be part of.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty amazing here. Our own Gary, the owner of the Central Kentucky TV, he himself is a very talented actor.
Yes, I've heard that.
And we were talking about that a little earlier. Of course, everybody has their other jobs and they don't always have a lot of time. I keep saying myself I'm going to pursue theater because I always enjoyed it in high school.
There you go.
And and it's amazing, when we have some of these productions and you see the talent that we have. And as you said, people that, adults that have never acted in their lives.
Right.
And they're just really unbelievable,
Yep. Yep.
So
Those hidden talents.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate, and we've got a lot of people that do, you've probably seen this, a lot of people that really do support our theater
Yes.
here.
And it's wonderful for a small community like this, and it should happen in more communities across the country. Community theater is a tough little business to run because there's not a lot of money in it. So you have to love it. You have to really want to be involved in it. Even as a volunteer, it can be a huge time commitment. And like you say, everybody else has their regular job and they have their everyday lives that they have to live. And then you ask them to give hours and hours to a community theater production, and it's a lot to ask of people.
Yeah.
It really is. And so we appreciate our volunteers very much, always in community theater. They are the backbone of community theater. But the talent level that's in communities is always amazing. And the support of the community is the critical piece to that pie. If people will get out and come and see the shows and support the theater financially or through their time, that's how community theaters thrive and survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to see any shows yet that we've had? Well, you've been here.
I've been here a couple of weeks now. I got
Okay.
to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which
Okay.
was terrific. I have not had a chance yet to see the Bluegrass Kids, so I'm very excited about our upcoming Bluegrass Kids show on December 11th, 12th, and 13th. They're the Christmas Toy Shop, which is coming up for us. So I'm very excited to see the work they do. This is a fun little adventure for me because I haven't really worked in a theater before that was centralized in young people's productions. Everywhere I've been has been more focused on adult main stage productions, and then they've usually had a kid show or two that went on the side. So to be involved in this theater that really focuses on young people is really a nice change and a nice challenge for me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had lots of our children in theater, started out in the Bluegrass Kids and went on to the youth actors, and then continued to pursue a career, in college and thereafter.
Yes.
And those actors, you could see every year their skills.
The more they grow, the more they learn. Yeah,
exactly,
it's
improving and growing, and I think, wow, they're going to be something. So,
yep.
And our shows are, like you said, they're just phenomenal.
Terrific talent. I watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and as much theater as I've done in my life, I'm not a singer and dancer. I don't really do musicals. As my father would say, I can't sing and I can't dance. Other than that, I'm great in musicals. Any one of those kids that were up there could blow me off the stage with their singing and dancing abilities. So it's fabulous to see that growth, and that's the real, I think, the real beauty of community theater, especially for kids, is theater is a very nurturing environment at this level. And it's not just about being a singer or a dancer or an actor. It's about learning to work together as a team to make something happen. It's about watching the confidence in these kids grow as they learn and find out they can do things and that they like it. And as a past director who's done a little bit of children's theater directing, not on this level, but just working with the kids I've worked with, that's probably one of the biggest rewards, is to just see that confidence come out in those young people. It's a safe environment for them. They feel safe with their friends and with their teacher, and they will express themselves in ways that will shock their parents, quite frankly. It's a marvelous environment, and it's terrific to see.
Yes, you can see that self-esteem blossom, and their self-confidence, and I think it teaches some discipline.
Absolutely.
And as you say, team, working together as a team, and so many
good life skills that they'll need as they grow and get older. It really does create a nice foundation. And it's part of the thing I think the average person in the public doesn't understand about theater, and in particular community theater, that what this does for an individual as a person is very important and very rewarding.
Do we need more children to enroll in our theater, or do we need more youth?
We could always use them, and we always will find a place for them. I know Jolene in particular, the Bluegrass Kids, I know she had a bunch of her kids, I understand, from last year that kind of reached the age limit and moved up to the youth actors group. So her younger group of 2nd to, I think it's 7th graders, is a little small this year. So we would love to see some new kids come in and get added into our Bluegrass Kids in particular. I know she would love to have more participation.
So if they wanted any kids that wanted to get involved in that, they would just call you?
Yep, they can call the theater, and we'll get them taken care of, and we'll get them in touch with Jolene. And if they've got questions, if parents want to come in and see what we do and how we do it, we're always open to have them come in, maybe talk to Jolene and view a classroom session and see how it works, so that they can feel good about where they're sending their kids. Absolutely, they should get in touch with us, and it's kids of all backgrounds. I mean, it's there's a tuition for our classroom, for our classes that we have for the Bluegrass Kids and the youth actors, but we do have scholarship programs where we can help families who may need some financial assistance to pay for that. And race, background, none of it makes any difference. In the theater, we're all one. So we encourage anyone and everyone who's got a child who might be interested to get in touch with us and talk to us about it and see if it's something that they might want for their child.
Are you doing classes right now, or are those just in the?
No, they do a fall set of classes and a spring set of classes, and I won't get too detailed on it because I'm too new to know all the details. I don't want to give a bunch of bad information.
And you'd think I would know by now, but I don't.
But there are a set of fall classes and spring classes, and those they teach them the basics of theater and acting and singing and all of that, and then of course it culminates by being able to do the stage productions and get on stage and really practice and use what they've learned.
is there anything, any goals that you have for the theater, or something that you're wanting to maybe look at that might be a little different, or?
Well, we'll see as we go forward. Obviously, I think this theater has been around for about 10 years now, and has obviously done a great job, been very successful, and has grown. So I'm not coming in here with any, big plans and issues. I'm going to upset the apple cart and shake everything upside down. They obviously know what they're doing. Once I get up to speed a little better and know how they operate and what they do, you're always looking to make things better and to grow. Maybe we'll look at more main stage productions for the adults in the community. And the theater, just as a natural part of growth, needs things. We need to look at capital investments as far as lighting and sound and all of that. So it's that continuous idea of let's get better at what we do. Let's be able to put on better productions, offer more classes, more spaces, because if you're not growing, you're going backwards. And the community, I think, has an expectation of their theater to continue to put on quality productions and grow and offer opportunities. And so that's what it's about. It's a continually evolving thing. And so I'm going to get comfortable with what they're doing and then figure out what I can do to help the theater grow in that capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've got to a good board and that are very involved and supportive, and
Yes.
and so I just I guess if anything, I sometimes sometimes I'm thinking, well, gosh, I think we're outgrowing the Opera House, but I mean, because you can only fit so many people in there, and our stage is so big. I was noticing the other night when I was upstairs, the Santa's workshop that's being built for the upcoming production, and it's just pretty amazing, the stage and lighting and effects and all the. I mean, the stage is just so professional. So I'm always amazed by all that in that. In our small theater.
Right.
And
you can do a lot with a small space.
Yeah.
Space is always an issue in any. I've never been around any community theater that didn't want more space. You either need it for your stage or your lighting or your classrooms and just for storage. I mean, you start piling up all these props and costumes and set pieces, and before you know it, you're out of room. So, do we reach a point where we outgrow the Opera House? I think reasonably you could say yes to that. Is it a place that we'd ever really want to leave? I don't know. I mean, this is
that would be tough.
Very marvelous location. I know the city is very. It's very important to the city that we're right here downtown and not, out on the edge of town somewhere. And the city, I've been just amazed by the support that the city of Springfield gives to the theater. It's fabulous, and it's very rare in the theater world to see a city support theater in the capacity that the city of Springfield does. I've seen it in one other place, and that was in North Carolina. But oftentimes, cities really have nothing to do with their community theater. And they're not in their budget, they're not in their plans, they're not in their focus. And I think being a small town makes that a little different, because something like this can become a focal point for the community in a smaller town, whereas in a bigger city, you get lost with all the other businesses in town. So. Well,
and of course that was, the Opera House was redone, refurbished, and years ago, and that was one of the whole ideas. One of the main ideas was to have, be able to have local theater, and that's what we did. And so, it's really nice because all the time, if I have people coming in to visit, I'm always hoping it's on a weekend when we've got community theater, because I'm just can't wait to take them downtown to the theater and then, across the street to one of our restaurants for dinner, or vice versa. Usually to dinner and then, so anyway, but so.
And what a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
Walk across the street and have dinner with the theater. It's fabulous. That's the beauty of small towns.
Yeah.
You know, I worked in large city theaters, and you can't do that. You got to drive downtown. You got to find parking. You got, you know, small towns are great. You just walk across the street. You got the best restaurant in town. It's just fabulous.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're in Springfield, and I know everyone's excited to have you here. And I know there was an article on you in the Springfield
Yep.
Sun, and all about your experience in theater and all your knowledge and expertise.
Everyone's just been so fabulous. It's just it's so welcoming and so patient, and my board and my directors have been so helpful to me this last 2 weeks. You know, everybody wants this to succeed and be a good thing, and I certainly do. I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a little town in Minnesota of 1,500 people. So I grew up in small town life. I love small town life. I just think some of the advantages that small towns have over large cities is amazing to me. But mostly it gets to be the people. It gets to be that everyone is welcoming, everyone's friendly, everyone knows everyone. And that is just so nice to be back in that again. And it's great for me after my travails and travels around the country and working as a professional actor and being here and there. It's great to be back in community theater. It's why I came to Springfield. It's why I was interested in this position, because realizing I needed to get back to work and you know, earn a living and do some things, to be able to return to my roots in community theater and do it in a small town and in a successful theater is just, it's marvelous. I feel very blessed to be here.
Well, that's great. Well, we're just delighted to have you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the upcoming production
Yes.
of the Santa's,
The
No.
Christmas Toy Shop,
the Christmas Toy Shop.
which is December 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then the very next weekend, we've got It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play, which everybody loves, and I guess is back by popular demand. They did it last year, apparently, and everybody loved it so much they brought it back this year.
Right, right.
So we got 2 in a row on 2 weekends in December.
So December 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yep.
And
And then
the
18th,
performances
19th,
will be at 7 in the evening on Friday night and Saturday night, and then Sunday matinee
At 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
Yes. Come and see our Bluegrass Kids perform the Christmas Toy Shop.
The Christmas Toy Shop.
Fabulous, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, the set looks fabulous. So, and then, as you said, the other production will be
It's a Wonderful Life,
It's
the
a
radio
Wonderful
play.
Life, the radio play, and I
Yep.
saw that last year, and that is wonderful. And so that I suppose most of the same actors will be in.
I think, if I heard it right, I think they got all of the actors back from last year except one. I think they have one new actor this year. I think that's correct.
And they were all great.
Yeah.
And that will be the weekend of, what did you say?
Should be the 18th, 19th, and 20th.
18th
It's
and
the very
19th.
next weekend
Okay.
after the Bluegrass Kids show.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that will be Friday night at 7, Saturday night at 7, and Sunday
at 2.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that will be it then until we move into after the first of the year, and our Youth Actors musical 9 to 5 will be coming up. So,
Oh,
or I guess
that'd
that's a
be
main
good.
stage production, I think. 9 to 5.
Oh, is that going to be a main stage?
9 to 5.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you probably have already had a advertised for actors for those roles, or
The 9 to 5. That cast has already been put together. The auditions have been done, and the cast is put together.
okay.
So they've actually, I think they've done their first read through already. So they
Okay,
are
well,
already working on that one.
Yeah.
So.
So now, Mark, if anyone has any questions or would like to talk with you about any of these things, how can they reach you?
They can reach me here at the theater, and I should have the number with me, and I don't have it memorized. But if they just call the Opera House, the theater is extension 4 is the theater. So just dial the Opera House. Sorry, I don't have the number at the tip of my
That's
fingers.
quite all right. I should know it myself, but
And then just dial extension 4.
yeah, because we have the other Nell Hayden's office and the Economic Development office and the tourism office, and you're the last extension on
Right.
there, 4.
Extension 4.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to get you set up with tickets or answer any questions that you may have. And if
Oh,
I don't
that's-
know the answers yet, I will find them out and get back to you. So.
Well, our tickets are very reasonable.
They are.
And sometimes it's good, and probably these Christmas productions, to get your tickets in advance because, you know,
Yes.
sometimes it's a sellout crowd.
Yeah, and they've already started selling. We started getting our requests in, so people are already purchasing tickets. So, and
they
it's
can-
only 3 nights. It's
And
only
they
one
can
weekend each,
purchase
so.
those,
They can purchase them on PayPal
okay,
off of our website.
okay,
And do it that way, or they can purchase them at the door. We'll always have tickets at the door, and they can purchase them there, or they can call the theater, leave a message, and we'll be happy to pull their tickets for them and set them aside, and they can pay for them when they get here.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So
Well, that's good.
we're ready to go anytime they are. Get the phones ringing. Let's do a show.
Let's do it. Well, welcome to Springfield, Mark, and I look forward to
Thank you.
seeing you in the future.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.